have American Ambassador Sergio Gor joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking to Times Now. Really appreciate your time, sir. My very first question would be, how did this breakthrough between India and US happen?
Hi, good evening. It's a pleasure to join you tonight. Congratulations on the good news, both to the United States and India. Look, the reason this happened is because the president considers Prime Minister Modi a true friend. And since I've arrived in India, I have said that he considers him a dear friend. That is something that has been built upon many years. And so that is what brought us ultimately here today, is their personal relationship. The Prime Minister leadership, the President's leadership, it's something that is unique in the world because they are friends. I've said many times that, the potential between our two nations is limitless. And I think what you saw happening today unlocks the next chapter of great relationships between our two nations.
In Chief
Navika Kumar will now ask the questions to you.
Has been reduced from 25 to 18%. The question on everybody's mind is what happens to the penalty tariff. Would you have details of some of those announcements, and when can we expect the details of the trade deal to be put out?
Hi, Navika. Good to hear from you tonight. The final number will be 18. And so the final number all in, once, there's a few things that will happen over the next few days, but overall, the final number will be 18. The bottom line is the secondary tariffs that were the 25% applied based on purchases of Russian oil. It's a reason the president applied those across multiple nations. And the reason being is because we want to bring peace to Ukraine and Russia. And so that is something the Prime Minister agrees with. The Prime Minister cares about peace also. And so overall, we have seen a reduction in oil by India, which is a great thing. It's nothing personal, but it's one of those things we do not believe that we should be funding wars. So overall, the number will be 18.
I also want to ask you, there was a conversation between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi this evening. Can you give us a few more details of the contours of that conversation?
Yes, look, it was a very warm conversation. It lasted, I would say, close to half an hour. Look, it's when two friends catch up, it's very easy to talk to each other. And the relationship between the two leaders is very warm. They consider each other friends. The Prime Minister once again invited him to visit India. The President recalled his warm memories of the events both in India during his last visit and the Prime Minister's trip to the United States when they organized the Howdy Modi rally. And so it's a very warm relationship. It was a call between two great friends.
Many questions still remain on the details of the Venezuelan oil deal that was referred to by President Trump. Could you shed some light on what this oil deal could be about, and whether this is different from the Indian companies already working in Venezuela?
I'm not going to get into those details because some of those things will still get worked out over the next few days, and I'll leave that to the trade negotiators that are handling that, and also those that are involved in the sale of oil across the world. The only thing that I would say tonight is a big congratulations to both countries. This is a big win. This opens a new chapter between our two nations. And we're thrilled by that. The president is very happy with that. The prime minister is very happy with that. And so it's a good night to celebrate. So I appreciate you having me on tonight.
Just before I let you go, the question also on everybody's mind is, would there be a meeting between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi finally concluding the trade deal and making the big announcement together?
The trade deal is already done. So over the next few days, something will be signed as the final details, are done. And I am sure they will meet soon. as friends do. They like to get together, and it's one of those things. For too long, people said, "Oh, they don't speak to each other, they don't talk to each other." That's just hogwash. I've been there many times with the president, both privately and publicly. He's always considered him a friend over the last year. India is a complex and very large economy. When people try to compare India to smaller nations that have gotten a trade deal faster, India has tens of thousands of items that have been negotiated. So you cannot compare that to a smaller country. To put it in perspective, I'd remind all your viewers that the deal with Europe took almost 19 years. So in the grand scheme of things, this was a very small amount of time. We're thrilled that the two leaders were able to agree. They get all the credit. The tariffs will go down to 18%, and this will open a new chapter between our two nations.
Do you think the EU-India deal, the United States-India deal, now puts the world's biggest challenges behind them?
I can't comment on the European deal, but I will just say that we're thrilled by this deal. We've been working on this for a very long time. There have been a lot of individuals behind the scenes that have been trying to get this done. And so tonight is a big night again. It is all because of the leadership of President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. Thank you for having me on.
Mr. Sergio Gor, you've just arrived in India, and what are your first impressions of India that you've gathered so far?
I am a big fan of this country. It's not my first visit here. I came to India 15 years ago, and I've always appreciated the culture, the history, the diversity, the color, the people. It's an incredible country. So I'm honored to be here to represent President Trump in America, and with a great partner such as your Prime Minister. And with that, I'll let you go. Thank you for having me. Good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergio Gor.
So there you have it, viewers, the biggest U.S. lawmaker speaking exclusively to Times Now, and he himself hails this historic trade deal between India and United States, and he has categorically said only one word for this deal, which is historic, and this is history in making, viewers. He said that after murder of all these, which took 19 long years to make it happen, India and U.S. made this happen only in 1 year just because of the relationship which India and United States share with each other. Even in the post announcement of Donald Trump, in the post we saw how Trump was all hails for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is not the first time when he is hailing the friendship which he shares with Prime Minister Modi publicly. Time and again he has hailed the friendship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and has told the world that how India is a good friend of United States. And now you have it, viewers, after 1 long year, you have US and India publicly announcing that this trade deal is now public, and this announcement, which means that now reciprocal tariffs of India on India will be reduced to 18% from 25%. And for the benefit of our viewers who are joining us right now on the broadcast, I will take you through some of the highlights and make you understand what actually happened. So first, that Trump's announcement, which means that now the reciprocal tariffs of India will be reduced to 18%, number one. Second, Donald Trump has said that India will reduce its tariff on US product to 0%. That is what the Trump administration has claimed. Second, India will stop buying Russian oil. We don't have India's confirmation as of now on that point. Fourth, Trump has claimed that India has committed to buy $500 billion of US energy, tech, agriculture, coal, and has said that the new tariff rate is effective immediately. That's the big breaking news which you're tracking at this point in time. Viewers, this moment is historic. India and US have shared historic relationship for the past many years, and this time this proves that India and United States share a friendship which goes beyond the global certainty. As I was just stating how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hailed this deal and the announcement by Donald Trump, and he has said that when two large economies and the world's largest democracies work together, It is for the benefit of our people, and it unlocks immense opportunities for mutually beneficial cooperation. And you also had Trump announcing this major reciprocal tariff announcement, where now it will be 18%, and this clearly proves that India-United States trade deal is not momentary. It goes for years.